Well, unfortunately, I have discovered a calamity. My knife, this guy right here that I recently finished up on this channel, that took me over a year to make, has sustained damage. I didn't notice it when filming the final shots of my last video, but when I sent it off to get a sheath, it looks like in shipping, probably on the way back, there is a large gouge in the side of the guard. And I'm not exactly sure how it happened, but it looks like it happened. So I'll show you some close-up shots here. And the goal of today's video is going to be carefully trying to fix this problem and not scrap this entire knife. All right, so it looks like all the damage is on this side of the knife. We have this deep gouge at the top of the guard here. We have some small gouges right here on the mid to bottom leg of the guard. And then I noticed a small little scratch this way on the front spacer. So we're going to start off with trying to fix the guard. Whenever you're working on a knife like this that's essentially done, it gets a little more precarious because if I make any mistakes, it's much harder to fix because I can't take it apart anymore and work on the pieces individually. Also, on things like the ricasso, it's almost impossible to get our sanding lines fixed if I mess them up close to the guard. So the goal here will be to cover all the blade, probably cover the front spacer, and just work on these little sections of the guard one at a time, and then attempt to get them to the same finish so that it's not noticeable that any repair work has been done. That may be slightly difficult considering that if I remember correctly, I sanded this up to a pretty high grit and then buffed it. So I'll have to get this guy out and then maybe try to do the exact same grit and see if I can get it blended in. As an extra precaution, I'm going to go ahead and spray the blade down with a little bit of ballistol. Any oil can really be used here. The main purpose is to prevent any chances of moisture getting caught between this paper towel and the blade and causing rust spots during the, I guess you can call this restoration process. One of the challenges is going to be getting this knife clamped up in such a way that we can work on it without damaging any of the finishes. To do that, we're going to use this pipe vise here, and we're going to turn it all the way out. Then we'll use this DIY blade vise to hold onto the blade and try to position the knife in such a way that we can work on the guard. Side note, this is one of the best vices that I've used for knife making. It's very adaptable, it can move around a ton, and I built my blade vise so that it has a piece of pipe on the end that we could just put it into the pipe jaws on this vise. All right, once we got it in the right spot, tighten her down. All right, on the blade vise here, I have some screws and some pieces of wood with leather kind of sandwiched in. So I have these two pieces of leather and two pieces of wood. So what I'll do is I'll lay down a piece of leather first. I'll put my knife in here. Then I'll put in another piece of leather. I'll back these screws all the way out. And then I'll get our wood in here. Get everything nice and lined up, and then tighten down these screws. The screws are contacting this piece of wood, which is really sacrificial. I change that wood out every once in a while. The back one generally doesn't need to be adjusted that much. Just tighten this guy down. Okay, so I've been thinking about how I'm going to do this. This damage on the bottom, I think I can just start sanding this out, maybe with a small needle file and some sandpaper. But on this big gouge, this would take a ton of time to use just sandpaper on. It looks pretty deep. So I may whip out the Dremel tool with one of those soft drums on there and see if I can get this guy disappeared. I'm going to start on the bottom and see how the sandpaper performs, and that will help me decide what to do with this top one. Now this may be mildly ridiculous, but I'm going to go ahead and start with some 600 Rhino Wet. Probably should start at a lower grit, but I'd rather start high and then revert back to a lower grit than start at a low grit and have to remove more scratches than needed. One thing I need to be very careful about is contacting the flats of this guard. Those would be much harder things to repair. So we're just going to be working on this edge here. Got a little piece of sandpaper. I'm going to wrap it around this needle file. Okay. Honestly, this bottom one is not super deep. Even after just touching it a few times with this 600 grit, I think I'm going to shift up maybe to 1,000 grit or 800, probably 1,000. You know, there's some radiuses in this section of the guard, so I just wrap the sandpaper multiple times around this needle file because it doesn't really need to be a flat surface that we're sanding here. We just want scratches to disappear. This is like a nerve-wracking experience, getting back in these tight spots. So I've wrapped the sandpaper over the very end of the needle file, and this way I can just work this small little spot. Yeah, I'm starting to remember how I did this. It was a while ago, but the flats I think are more of a satin, and the corners, or the end here, is where I buffed it. So we'll get these scratches out with 1,000 grit. I'll tape up the rest of it even more, and then buffer. You know, this kind of stuff happens. It's not abnormal for something to happen to a finished knife. So that's one reason why I wanted to make this video, is just to show that all is not lost. Generally, with a little bit of patience, you can come back and fix a problem and not scrap the entire project. That being said, it's never a fun experience to do something like this, but you know. Okay, the bulk of these lower scuffs are gone. I'm going to be using some 1,200 grit here to try to get the 1,000 grit scratches out, and then we'll move on to the top of the guard. All right, I think we are done with this bottom section here. Now we're going to move to the top to try to get this big old gouge out. Okay, that works so good on the bottom that I think I'm going to start with sandpaper wrapped around a needle file on the top as well. I may need to whip out the Dremel eventually, but I'm really hoping that that won't be necessary. The chances of mistakes increase substantially when dealing with something like a Dremel tool versus hand files and sandpaper. I'm starting here with some 600 grit, which I'm hoping is low enough to get the bulk of this divot out. And it's actually working pretty good. This divot, or this gouge, isn't really as deep as it looked. I mean, it did look pretty darn deep just, viewing it, but once you start applying a little sandpaper, it seems to be disappearing quickly. Yeah, so it's pretty much gone. I'm going to go ahead and move up to 800 and get some of these scratches out. Yeah, amazingly that gouge just kind of disappeared. It didn't take that long. I'm going to step it up to 1,200, and then we're going to address the front spacer. Whenever you're doing something like this, you want to move your light around pretty frequently because different angles will show you where the problems are. That's why I like these long gooseneck LEDs. You know, some may ask why go through this additional effort. And there's a couple reasons. One, it just feels wrong to leave a knife that I worked on for so long blemished, even if I were just keeping it. But in reality, I plan on selling this knife, or I hope to sell it, and the customer who's buying it deserves my best work. And I tell you what, when I pack it up to ship out to whoever is going to be the lucky new owner of this knife, I will definitely wrap the heck out of it so that something like this can't happen in transit. All right, amazingly, we have the blemish removed, and the surface is worked up to 1200 grit. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to look at the scratches in the front spacer and see what we can do about that. Now, this front spacer is at a much lower grit, and I don't want to apply sandpaper to this if I don't have to. So one thing I may try is using some sunshine cloth that has just a little bit of abrasive in there and see if that's just enough to get that scratch out of there. Now, it's hard to see, but the first scratch is on the stainless section right here, moving diagonally. And then there's another scratch right here vertically on the copper section that's moving across. Hopefully they're super shallow and I'll be able to kind of buff them out with that sunshine cloth. If this cloth doesn't work, another option would be some extra fine steel wool, maybe even with some polishing compound, but we're going to try this first. All right, well, it was a long shot, but it doesn't seem like I'm making any progress on these scratches. Ball it up in a ball and rub it back and forth. Looks like that actually worked pretty good. All right, and with that, our scratches are gone. Fantastic. So next question is, I need to look at the other side of this front spacer and see how the finish has changed using that steel wool. If it's changed substantially, I may end up having to steel wool the other side to make them uniform. All right, we're gonna see if we can buff this front spacer without grabbing this knife and throwing it across the shop and without damaging anything. So, got a really good grip. So we have the front spacer done. I'm gonna come and try to get the edges of the guard done. Let's see if this works. Alrighty, so I think that I am done here. I'm gonna take all of this off and verify that everything looks good. I had a little cleanup to do. There's some compound kind of caked on here, so we'll get all this taken off, cleaned up, and inspect our work. We use a Q-tip to kind of clean up the front of this museum fit bull nose. So after cleaning this guy up, the guard looks good all the way around. We got rid of the large gouge that was sitting up here, and then the scuffing that was sitting down here. The front spacer is also cleaned up fairly well. We kind of had a low grit finish here that's been slightly buffed, so it's back to normal. The only problem that I see right now is I identified a new scratch that I hadn't seen on the face of the guard, right about there. It's super hard to see. You got to get it at just the right light. And I really don't know how I'm going to fix that one. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to leave it alone. There it is. I think I'm going to leave that alone because I will do more damage trying to fix that than just leaving it alone. So unfortunately, I'm going to leave that one there, and I will take a good picture of this and put it on the product page for anyone looking to purchase this knife, just so they know that it's not perfect. Overall though, I'm happy that we were able to fix the bulk of the issues, And this guy is back in business, so to speak, and will be going back up on the site. So I hope maybe y'all got a little bit out of this video, considering that, mistakes happen and knives get damaged. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button down below and consider subscribing to the channel. Until the next time, I'll catch y'all on the flip side.